One of the most ironic things that I have ever encountered in my life is watching a network like CNN, who has been exposed time and time again for fabricating stories, tracking down people for interviews that ask not to be bothered, and otherwise seemingly purposefully misinforming the public, pressure a platform to moderate content more strictly. Susan Wojcicki, CEO of YouTube, was interviewed by CNN's Eunuch the other day, and yet again she was there to discuss restricting content. I don't recall Susan ever doing an interview and not talking about removing more videos. She recently did an interview with 60 Minutes as well, where alleged human Leslie Stahl asked her why she allowed historical videos to remain on the platform, like speeches, for example. After the interview, more things were of course taken down, and what is more frustrating, they are still unclear about what it is they expect out of people. The media, in their infinite wisdom, focuses more on shutting down their competitors than they do focusing on doing their jobs. We have reached a new level of vague and strange enforcement of policies. In her latest interview with CNN, Susan tells us that anything questioning the World Health Organization or anyone who tells their audience to take vitamin C could be in violation of YouTube's terms of services.
But then we also talk about removing information that is problematic. Of course, anything that is medically unsubstantiated, so people saying like, take vitamin C, take turmeric, like those all will cure you. Those are the examples of things that would be a violation of our policy. Anything that would go against World Health Organization recommendations would be a violation of our policy, and so remove is another really important part.
Would it be too much to ask a leader of a company to put its foot down when some news corporation complains that others are better at their jobs than they are? That's what this boils down to. It's been the same thing for a while now. I see that common hot take that Bitchute needs to step up, or we could just move to another platform. As the recent years have demonstrated, it's not that easy. Remember vid.me, stream.me? How about DLive? How's DLive doing? Bitchute, while a consistent website, and I rather like it, it doesn't quite have the resources to provide live streaming. Unfortunately, the answer isn't as simple as moving a humble audience like you guys to an irrelevant platform to quickly be forgotten about. Not only does Bitchute, for instance, not have an app that comes already installed on all new smartphones, but it lacks the resources to adequately compete with YouTube on a level playing field. Susan interviews always come off like she's trying to explain to whatever activist reporter that she's talking to that the dog really did eat her homework. There was a point in the interview, although I don't have the clip ready, where she explained that she was doing everything she could to promote mainstream channels, giving them what she claimed was billions of views that she used the algorithms in order to help direct. Hey, how come people are still making videos on the platform? How come they get more views than us? Why are you letting people discuss taking vitamins on your platform? People like your Brian Stelter and your Leslie Stahl asking the important questions. As I mentioned before, the rules are purposely vague in order to enforce the rules differently based on favoritism. Mainstream outlets not only get recommended to everyone, but they don't have to face the troubles of potential defunding due to the subject matter of their discussion. You know how there are new rules now to where you can't insult somebody too many times in one video? I don't think CNN has to follow that rule. Hey, how about Late Night with Stephen Colbert? He makes fun of Donald Trump a lot. That's not in violation of TASA? Okay, but if it was anybody else, it would be. Well, if it was anyone else making the video about it. You see, Stephen Colbert can talk about whoever he likes and say whatever he likes about that person. These people at CNN, while they pat themselves on the back, they directly advocate to get people removed from the internet, to defund people because they had the audacity to be skeptical of authority. We can't expect a new company, a new YouTube, a new Bitchute to rise from the ashes, so to speak. What we have to do is get more clever. What, are we going to count on Brian Stelter or Leslie Stahl to stand up for the common man and their right to speak? Don't you love how they've come up with a convenient excuse to, oh, well, they're a private company, blah, 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 blah. I wonder, would they advocate for PG&E shutting people's power down based on words they said on the internet? I shouldn't ask questions like that because I already know the answer. Yes, they would. They would be absolutely fine with that. Only if it was against somebody they didn't like, though. The very moment that it happened to one of them, suddenly they would take issue with it.
Figure out a way to post a video that's just on that borderline so it doesn't necessarily violate the rules, but still, in context, it's really bad. And so that's where Google is really struggling. It's where Facebook is struggling too, this borderline content issue.